The Couch Potato. Part of the Bad Seed book series. By Jory John and Pete Oswald. I am a potato. Not a small potato like my brother. Not a sweet potato like my mother. Not a mashed potato like my Uncle Stu. I am a couch potato. Oh yeah, it's true. My favorite place to slouch is on the couch. I spend all my free time sitting in this exact spot. Why would I ever leave this comfy, cozy couch? It's got everything a potato could need. See? I have this. And this. And one of these. And those. And this. And that. And these. Oh, and this. Check it out. This button activates a gadget that fetches me snacks whenever I want. Bam! Impressed? And I don't have to move an inch. Much easier than going to the kitchen. If the most important thing in life is to be comfortable at all times, then I think I've got it all figured out. But wait, there's more. I haven't revealed the absolute best part about my whole setup. It's everything you see in front of me. Have a look around. Take it all in. Pretty spectacular, right? Yes, it's a sea of shimmering screens, from wall to shining wall. What a joy! What bliss! These screens feature my favorite shows. This screen has all my unanswered messages. These screens are where I play video games. And this screen is a live stream of my friend, my best spud for life. This is how my pals and I spend quality time together. It's much easier than trying to meet up somewhere, like folks did in the old days. That's for sure. Yes, from this very couch, I can control everything in my life, all the time, with just a few taps and a couple clicks. Not bad, Yes sir, this is the life. At least, that's what I thought, until the other day. Something strange happened. There was a knock at my door. It was a delivery. It was my newest device, a video camera that would allow me to watch myself react while I was watching all my favorite shows. All I had to do was plug it in, and my room, nay, my complete kingdom, would be complete. But suddenly, pow! Everything went dark. Look out! Coming through. Whoops! Oof! Oh! Thump! I made it to the window. I pulled back the curtains. The sun seemed brighter than I remembered. There was nothing better to do, so I decided to take my dog, Tater, for a walk outside. It had been a while. Everything was so vivid, like a high-resolution 156-inch curved screen, but even more realistic. Something smelled fresh. After a few moments, I realized that it was the air. I heard a noise. Some chirps. A ringtone, perhaps. But no, I looked up to see some birds. I wandered down the street, from block to block, and across the neighborhood. Eventually, I found a park with a hill. There was a massive tree on top. It looked like a desktop background, only it was real. I leaned against the tree. It wasn't as comfortable as my couch. Not even close. But after a while, it wasn't so bad. Any worries about the power outage and what I might be missing drifted away. I wasn't thinking about my favorite shows, or my unanswered messages, or anything else, really. I noticed the stillness. The view. The sky. The clouds. The sunset. And these colors. My goodness. It took a while, because there was no fast-forward option, but eventually the sun sank below the horizon. By the time I got home, the power was back on. I sat on the couch. I hit the button to brush my teeth. I pulled the lever to change into my pajamas. I turned the knob to watch a bedtime story. Then I noticed my reflection in one of the screens. I wondered how much of my life had been spent in that very spot. It was then and there that I made the decision to peel myself off the couch a bit more often. Maybe every day, even. And so that's what I've done. I started hanging out with my friends, my best spuddies, outside. We've started biking. And hiking. And swimming. And hiding. And seeking. Sometimes we have snacks and play board games. Sometimes we talk all day. We might watch the clouds. There's no big plan. We just see what happens. It makes me wonder, what if I don't always need to be totally comfortable? What if I'm happier when I have a better balance between my gadgets and the world outside? Because it turns out that I'm more than just a couch potato. I'm an amusing potato. I'm a smart potato. I'm a kind potato. I'm an entertaining potato. And I'm a sit on a hill and watch the sunset potato. Yes, there's a great big world out there, and I want to be part of it. In person. But don't get me wrong. At the end of a long day, after I've run and played and talked and laughed with my friends, I still think it's awfully nice to slouch on the couch. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please find the link in the description. Never Let a Unicorn Crash a Party. Written and illustrated by Diane Abler. This is my pet unicorn. Over the past couple of months, we have really gotten to know each other, and I discovered something pretty awesome about her. She loves parties. She loves pool parties. She loves scribble parties. She loves dance parties. She loves tea parties. She even loves cleaning parties. I wanted our next party to be the best one yet. I remembered that Unicorn's birthday is coming up and she has never been to a birthday party. Then I thought, what is better than a birthday party? A surprise birthday party. With her friends, balloons, donuts, and crafts. It will be amazing. I reached out to all of Unicorn's friends to tell them about the surprise birthday party. They loved the idea. We started planning. First, I sent out the invitations. Then I made a list of everything we needed: balloons, donuts, and crafts. And lastly, I needed to get Unicorn to the party without her knowing it was a surprise. So, I told her I got some new princess dresses that I just had to show her and told her to meet me tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Everything was going as planned. I had the balloons. Penguin brought the donuts, and Raccoon got the crafts. All that was left was to decorate. After what seemed like forever, the decorations were up and they looked marvelous. Now, all we needed was Unicorn. We timed it perfectly. Just as Unicorn peeked through the door, we all shouted surprise. But what happened next we didn't expect. Unicorn went bananas. She had never seen balloons before, and one actually looked just like her. She ran full speed to give it a big hug and ended up crashing into all the balloons. Unicorn was so startled by the noise that she started running in the opposite direction. She wasn't looking where she was going and crashed into the donut table. "Save the donuts!" I yelled. But it was too late. The donuts were flying everywhere, and all the balloons had been popped. The only thing that Unicorn hadn't crashed into were the crafts. I quickly ran and grabbed all the paper to bring it to safety. What I didn't realize was that Unicorn had stepped on a donut and was sliding right toward me. Then she crashed into me. Her magical horn went right through the stack of papers and caused them to burst into glitter snippets. Unicorn finally landed on the floor, belly first. I was sure the party was ruined. Then the most magical thing happened. The donuts started to float in the air, lined themselves up, and drifted onto Unicorn's horn. Then, all the glitter snippets started to arrange themselves into the most fantastic mosaic art. It's safe to say that things didn't end up like we expected, but we still managed to have an amazing party and learn some new things along the way. We discovered a new art technique, saw some great donut stacking skills, and found out what happened when a unicorn crashes a party. So the next time we have a party, absolutely no surprises. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please see the link in the description. Magical Sam and Rolly Rock. Superheroes of Dreamland. Nighttime Quests Book 1. In a cozy little house on a quiet little street, there lived a boy named Sam. Every night, when the stars twinkled bright, Sam snuggled in bed with his favorite rock, Rolly. But when Sam closed his eyes, something magical happened. Sam and Rolly would transform into superheroes in a land of dreams. Super Sam, so brave and bold. With Rolly Rock, strong and rolled. In dreamland they fly and zoom, lighting up the starry gloom. One dreamy night, the dreamland was dim. The moon had lost her shimmering light. Super Sam and Rolly Rock knew just what to do. They soared through the sky, on a quest so true. Fly, fly, up in the night, to bring back the moon's lost light. Super Sam and Rolly, go! Through the starry, moonlight glow. Together they found the moon, sad and gray. With Sam's magical powers and cheer from Rolly, the moon beamed bright, hooray! Sam and Rolly waved goodbye to the moon, grinning wide under the sky's bright boon. Over dreamland their smiles made stars bloom, lighting up the night like a big balloon. Next, they heard a whispering sound, coming from the dreamland's ground. The whispering woods were in a muddle, all the trees were in a huddle. Dear friends, they rustled, a message to send. One of us is hurt, a branch we must mend. Sam and Rolly, with magic so bright, heard the trees whisper in the soft night. With a wave and a chant, their powers took flight, healing the branches, setting it right. Trees danced with joy in the moon's light. Under the moon, with Sam and Rolly in sight, their leaves whispered stories in the cool night breeze. In their forest home, they were happy as can be. As dawn was nearing, one last quest was appearing. The stars in the sky wanted to parade, but they didn't know how to make the cascade. Twinkle, twinkle, stars so bright. Trees dances with joy in the moon's light. Super Sam and Rolly lead. With your courage, you'll succeed. Sam and Rolly used their magical powers once more. Sam and Raleigh arranged the stars in 5 lines. He started with the biggest first and finished with the smallest. Wave goodbye, it's time to fly, from dreamland we now ascend. Sam and Raleigh say bye-bye. Until our next dreamland bend. Super Sam and Raleigh rock, heroes of the dreamland clock. With each night the moonlight peeks through, back to bed, their dreams anew. And so, every night, when Sam goes to sleep, into dreamland the pair do leap, for another adventure, another quest. Super Sam and Raleigh rock, simply the best. See you next time, in Dreamland. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please find the link in the description. Do Not Wish for a Christmas Elf by Serena Siebeneler and illustrated by Gabby Correa. 'Twas 2 weeks before Christmas, the shops were jam-packed. We had just arrived home, and our gifts were all stacked. Mom and Dad were exhausted. To my great surprise, they reclined as they rested their feet and their eyes. But then, all of a sudden, we heard the phone buzz. You would never have guessed who the phone caller was. Ho ho hi, ho ho hi. The voice sounded uneasy. It's Santa, I gulped. I felt anxious and queasy. I have a big favor to ask you, dear cat. Do you mind if we have a short pre-Christmas chat? I'm in need of your help and your parents' approval. He said and then paused for a slurp of his noodle. The North Pole is more hectic than ever before, with 100 new elves all lined up by my door. We are gearing them up for the elf mighty test, to ensure that they're ready to take on my quest. But one elf, her name is Jangles, is not quite prepared, so I really need help, Santa quickly declared. Jangles needs to be trained, though timing is tight. But I know with your help, she can get it all right. Yes, I'll do it. I beamed. I feel honored you'd ask. I will give it my all, to fulfill your big task. Shortly after our call, I went into my room, and then, Jangles appeared, just like lightning. Kaboom! In a hodgepodge of patterns, she had her own style. With her twinkling blue eyes and cheery white smile. Welcome Jangles, I said, trying not to sound nervous. I think that you're here for my elf training service. Yes, I'm ready. She cheered. I'm excited to learn. I'll be ready to elf when it's time to return. We began in the kitchen with holiday treats. But the flour went flying on Mom's folded sheets. So, we started again and then mixed the wet batter. But a few seconds later, there was a huge splatter. Oh Jangles, I panicked. Let's try to do better. But Jangles just shrugged as she wiped off her sweater. Then we cleaned it all up and began our new goal, to build 2 giant snowmen and gain some control. So, I rolled and I patted large balls made of snow, for the jolliest, friendliest, snow sculpture show. But then, when I looked up, my grin turned to a frown. Jangles' snowman was made, but was flipped upside down. Come on, Jangles, I pleaded. Let's try this once more. As her eyes gave a twinkle, she shrugged like before. Then we heard my mom call, Daddy picked up the tree. We both rushed back inside, so excited to see. Tons of ornaments, lights, and bright tinsel galore were all sitting in totes on our living room floor. Mom then made us hot cocoa with candy cane sticks, as my dad danced around and he showed off his tricks. We should start with the lights. I'm excited, aren't you? I am sure am, Jangles cheered. She then added, Yahoo! So I followed behind her. She's got this, I thought. But before I could blink, we were tied in a knot. Then I tried to stand up, but without any luck. The tree toppled right over, and then we were stuck. As my parents pitched in to untangle the mess, I felt bad that my efforts were not a success. I'm so sorry, sweet Jangles. I gave it my best. Now I'm worried you'll be unprepared for your test. Jangles climbed to my chest, and she gave me a hug. Then she looked at me sweetly and winked with a shrug. Cat, you gave with your heart, and to me, that's a win. You did such a great job. Now, you lift up that chin. This has been so much fun, she said, waving goodbye, with that cheery white grin and her twinkle-lit eye. Then as fast as she'd come, in a flash, she was gone, and I drifted to sleep with a sad little yawn. But the very next morning, I woke up to see a huge platter of treats and a letter for me. Dear Cat, I'm incredibly grateful you helped me with Jangles. She had a great time with your tree lights in tangles. You see, all along, she was meant just for you. Jangles brought you some fun and some memories too. For Christmas is spirit, the joy we all need. And your patience and caring were thoughtful, indeed. We're not meant to be perfect. What life's all about is the magic we offer and not our self-doubt. But before I head out, there's one thing you should know. I'll be back really soon. Ho, ho, ho. Holiday cheers, Santa Claus. I looked up at my parents and said with a smile, Jangles did make it fun in her own quirky style. Now, I do have a wish. Something kooky and cool. A T-Rex would be great. I could take him to school. The end. If you would like to purchase this story about Cat, please see the link in the description below. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to be notified of new story releases. The Cool Bean by Jory John and Pete Oswald. Book 3 of the Bad Seed book series. Watch out! Here come the cool beans. The cool beans. Oh yeah, check out how they move. Look at the way they swagger. Notice their sunglasses. Yow! The cool beans are known all over school. From house to house. Across town. Beyond county lines. In the olden days, last year, we were all one big pot of beans. We were a mixed bag, but somehow it worked. Yep. Those were the good old days, and then we stopped seeing each other as much. That's just how it is sometimes. You spend less time together, even though you're not totally sure why. I watched as the beans I knew so well, the beans from my own pod, became the cool beans. Oh, they were so cool. One of them could play the guitar. Cool. One of them could draw the best superheroes. Cool. One of them could jump higher than any bean I'd ever known. Cool. Me? Well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made some small changes. I wore sunglasses. Too big. I slicked my hair back. Too slick. I strutted around. Oh. I swaggered. Oof. I was still picked last for everything. My clothes never seemed to fit. I snorted when I laughed. I walked into stuff. I was an uncool bean, for sure. I started thinking of myself as just a common bean with no special skills. I couldn't compete, so I didn't even try. I'd never be a cool bean. It seemed like there were two types of beans in the world. There were cool beans, and the beans like me. The days all blended together. I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests and ate lunches and mostly kept to myself. The cool beans continued being cool. I mean, sure, I missed them. A bit. But it's not like I was going to say anything. I felt like all that coolness had gotten in the way of our friendship. And that's how it went, until one day. I was in the cafeteria. I dropped my lunch on my loafers. Oh no, not again. But then something sort of miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans helped me clean it up. He didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod. That was it. Later, I was out on the playground. I tripped and scraped my knee and maybe cried a little bit, and everybody saw it. Another one of the cool beans came to my side, and without a word, he dusted me off. That afternoon, I was sitting in class. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't notice, but our teacher had called on me. Everybody stared. I sat there in silence. Nobody said anything. And then everybody just laughed. At me. That was it. After today, I was officially a has-been. But then one of the cool beans stood up and came over to me. Everybody watched. She leaned in close and whispered, "Hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32. Then she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat. It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also everything. I walked home with a goofy smile on my face. I smiled all the way through dinner. That day made all the difference. It was a day that could have been really bad, if not for the kindness of a few cool beans. It gave me a shred of confidence. That shred of confidence has continued to grow. Somebody had my back. Or a few somebodies. After that, I started hanging out with the cool beans again. How have you been? Get it? How have you been? Not all the time, but sometimes. At lunch. After school. Even on the weekends. Throughout all of this, I realized that it's not about how you look or any of that other silly stuff. It's about a wink or a nod or a smile at just the right moment. It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again, and pointing them in the right direction. You need a hand? Yes, please. Now that's cool. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please look in the description below for a link. Brenda's Beaver Needs a Barber, written by Bimisai Tyanada and illustrated by some guy in Bangladesh. Brenda has a beaver, and she's ready to confess, as soft and sweet as it may be, her beaver is a mess. Brenda's beaver's big, Brenda's beaver's hairy. Every guy who's seen it says that Brenda's beaver's scary. Brenda took her beaver for a swim down at the lake. By the looks she received, she figured that was a mistake. She stuffed that furry mount into a swimming suit. It stuck out all around, it was anything but cute. Some who saw it laughed, others were just stunned. Brenda's beaver was hanging out, soaking in the sun. Her friends could not believe her. They said, "We need to talk." They covered up her beaver and they took her for a walk. "Brenda dear, listen here, we want to help you out. Your beaver needs a makeover, it really needs it now. I hope we don't seem pushy," said her biker friend named Kim. "Your beaver is too bushy, we just think it needs a trim." Savannah pulled her beaver back to show off what she'd done. Hers has a nice long landing patch, it looks like it'd be fun. Chrissy's beaver is quite rare, it could be worth $1 million. Hers is bare, it has no hair, her beaver is Brazilian. Catherine let her beaver loose, she said, "There's nothing to it, grab some clippers and a can of mousse. We'll show you how to do it." Kim produced some scissors, and Chrissy had some wax. Now all that Brenda had to do was sit back and relax. As they came towards her beaver, they said, "Now don't be scared, we're going to see what's underneath that frumpy pile of hair." It ended in just minutes, they didn't leave her much. When Brenda's friends were finished, she and her beaver blushed. Her beaver was so tiny, they could not believe their eyes. It was smooth and it was shiny, it was hard to recognize. Now Brenda is so proud, it seems like every time we see her, she's in the center of a crowd, just showing off her beaver. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please click the link in the description. Cupid's Fart Arrows by Humor Heals Us. It was Valentine's Day and Cupid was ready, armed with his arrows. Everything seemed normal. The sun was shining bright. And people were busy shopping and walking in the park. Cupid loaded his arrows with his magic love potion. Ready? Fire! Down the first arrow went. It had struck the man right where Cupid was aiming. Cupid began rejoicing until he noticed something odd happening to the guy. The young man did not fall in love. Instead, he went around releasing farts into the air. Soon enough, everyone scattered. There must be a mistake, Cupid thought. So he fired another arrow. This one struck a young woman as she was walking her dog. Yes! Cupid shouted. Got her on the first try. As Cupid watched her and hoped that all was normal, the young lady began releasing the most putrid gas known to man. People began running for their lives. No, no, no. This is not how it's supposed to work. Cupid stomped. One by one, everyone began falling victim to Cupid's farting spells. Cupid was beside himself. He didn't know what to do. In all of his hundreds of years doing this, an event this disastrous had never happened. It wasn't until he lifted up the potion bottle that he realized what happened. It was the wrong one. He had been dipping his arrows in the fart container. After he realized it, Cupid ran as fast as he could to the potion shelf. He grabbed the closest love potion he could find. Cupid dipped his arrows in it and hoped that it would work. Soon, everyone began falling madly in love with each other. But the problem was they were still farting. And that's how it stayed until today. All because of Cupid's potion mix-up. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please look for the link in the description. Please Alpak Kazoo, written by Edgar Garcia and illustrated by Daria Shch. Ava the alligator is an astronaut avoiding angry aliens. Billy the bear battles big buzzing bumblebees. Carla the cow clumsily crashes into circus clowns. Danny the duck discovers drooling dinosaurs in diapers. Emma the elephant enjoys Easter eggs with elves. Freddy the fox finds forest fairies fighting. Gina the giraffe giggles at goofy gorilla gymnasts. Henry the horse is a happy hippopotamus hooping for Halloween. Ivy the iguana instructs incredibly instrumental insects. Joey the jaguar is a jittery juggler in the not-so-jolly jungle. Kathy the kangaroo kindly kisses the koala knight. Lenny the lion lands loudly in Lollipop Land. Martha the moose marvels at magnificent monster magicians. Nathan the newt nabs noisy nightingale ninjas. All of the owl outsmarts outrageous ogre outlaws. Peter the penguin paints portraits of pirate pigs. Queenie the quokka is a quirky queen in a quivering quintet. Ricky the rabbit rides a rambunctious rhinoceros in the rodeo. Sienna the spider surfs with the silly sharks in sombreros. Tommy the turtle triumphs in a terrific tricycle tournament. Uma the urchin uncovers unbelievable underwater unicorns. Victor the vulture is a valiant Viking voyaging on vacation. Wendy the walrus is a whimsical witch wrestling two werewolves. Xerxes the xenops X-ray xylophones on a xanthic xebec. Yasmin the yak yells at yodeling yetis yacht racing. Ziggy the zebra zooms through the zany zombie zoo. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, you will find the link in the description. Frank the Farting Flamingo by Humor Heals Us. Hi, I'm Frank. People call me Frank the Farting Flamingo. I'm not sure why. Everyone farts. The truth is, farting is so common that we can even give them names. See how many of these you have experienced. The Silent Ninja. This one is sneaky. It comes out and no one even knows because it's so silent. But just because it's quiet doesn't mean it doesn't pack a smelly punch. It stinks bad. Have you ever released a silent ninja? Who did that? It stinks. Did someone fart? The common quack. Quacks can range from a mere mumble to a loud megaphone. There's one thing they have in common: this duck always has a bad breath. The hot biscuit. This deadly air biscuit is too hot and thick to produce sound. It just creates a really bad odor. What is that smell? Oh wow, something reeks. The butt putt. This fart is sort of cute and could easily be mistaken for someone popping their bubble gum. The grenade. This is probably the loudest of all farts. At first you hear a loud boom. And then, the shockwaves come rushing in and you have to leave the room. Ever released a grenade before? Take cover. The running fart. This one happens when you're, well, running. It is the fart that slowly escapes with every step you take, like the slow release of a balloon. In order to not let it all go, you might intentionally run slower. The car ride fart. This is the fart where everyone gets mad at you. It can happen on the way to school, on the ride home, or right before practice. You didn't mean it. So you argue that research indicates it's much healthier to release gas than to hold it in. Help! How do you roll down the window? The party fart. The party fart got its name by its very potent odor, strong enough to make quite a few people look around. The trick here is to not identify the fart, but the farter. This is almost impossible unless the farter panics and starts a fit of coughing or starts staring up at the ceiling or the sky as though something up there fascinates him. In which case, he is the one. Super common. Something reeks. So you see? You may have experienced one or more of these kinds of farts, which makes you a farting flamingo too. You can't prevent farts from happening. If you don't believe me, ask my friend Fritz the farting reindeer. Don't know what he's talking about. The end. If you would like to purchase this book, please look for the link in the description. Do Not Wish for a Pet Ostrich. By Serena Siebeneler and illustrated by Gabby Correa. My parents once said I could pick out a pet, but it had to be one that I'll never regret. Once Sally picked wrong when she chose a cute pup. Now she can't find a shoe that has not been chewed up. And Tom has a cat that he says is too lazy. Just snoozing all day, making everyone crazy. My teacher's pet parrot at first seemed so fun. But it chatters so much that she gets nothing done. Eureka! I shouted. I know what I'll get. An ostrich will be the best pet I can get. So, I wished on a star shooting off in the night. I wished for an ostrich with all of my might. Oh star, shining star, make my wishes come true. Please send me a bird like the ones in the zoo. And please will you give him a long, skinny neck. And also, please give him a beak that will peck. Then, asleep I went, woke up to check. It's here! I cried out as it pecked my neck. It looked at me blankly. My wish had come true. Now, what will I do? What will I do? Breakfast. I pondered. Now what do you eat? Popcorn? Spaghetti? Marshmallows? Meat? His appetite, as you've probably guessed, had me running to find more for him to digest. Apples. I cheered while collecting them all. Then I carefully stacked them, because he's so tall. I sat in my chair to observe and to wait as he scarfed down the apples. All 78. I called up the vet, Dr. Alpak Kazoo. The apples are stuck, doctor. What should I do? Oh no! Dr. Alpak Kazoo said in shock. Go get him some butter, a big, 1-pound block. The apples will smoothly go down his long throat. This has worked for a money, a pig and a goat. I shoved all the butter right into his beak. And the apples went down as I snuck in to peek. What next? I know. An ostrich is active. We'll get some fresh air. What a beautiful day. We can go anywhere. An ostrich might like a calm stroll at the zoo, or maybe instead some light jogging will do. So I put on his leash and he ran out the door. Then behind him I flew. Boy, this pet is a chore. Then after our run, we both sat down to rest, but he quickly became my celebrity guest. The crowd just went wild for an ostrich to touch. And they gathered for pictures. Oh, it was too much. He started to run, he was ready to leave, so I started to beg, oh come on will you please? But he just wouldn't listen, although I was pleading. He carried on running, till soon he was speeding. I chased him right past a giraffe and raccoon, and on past a hippo and then a baboon. I finally caught him. I captured him quick. But I was exhausted, this ostrich was slick. I know where to take you, I said with a smile. We'll go to the beach and we'll stay for a while. I think you just need a nice calm place to stay. We can go for a swim and build castles all day. But instead he just planed his head in the sand. I couldn't believe it. It's not what I'd planned. I sat, and I waited, and then he lifted his head and was running again. That's it. An ostrich, I thought, cannot run in a home. He must be in nature to romp and to roam. So, I wished on a star shooting off in the night, and I wished at that moment with all of my might. Oh, star, shining star, make my wish come true. Please take my pet ostrich right back to the zoo. Please send him away with his long, skinny neck. Please send him right back with that beak that will peck. The very next morning, I stretched with a yawn. My wish had come true, my pet ostrich was gone. As I dressed, I decided it's all for the best. Because now I have time for my next special guest. I'll visit my friend at the big city zoo. I'll bring him some apples, but only a few. Then I'll wish on a star, shooting off in the night. I'll wish for a unicorn with all of my might. The end. Frankie Got a Boo-Boo. A story about overcoming fear with the Word of God. Written by Joanna Intagliata and illustrated by Alexandra Silikova. Frankie got a boo-boo. Full of fear, he started to cry. He yelled, "Mommy, Mommy, help!" Then let out a big sad sigh. Mommy held her boy close and hugged him as he cried. Put a band-aid on him and quickly replied, "My dear, fear is a liar. That is not from the Lord. Healing is possible, so pick up your sword. Put on the full armor of God, be a warrior ready for battle. The word is your weapon, it makes the enemy rattle. The Bible is the word, it comes from God above. It teaches all about His healing and His love. Faith erases all fear, there's more God will do. By His stripes your boo-boo is healed, no harm can come against you. We believe what the Bible says, it is the way, the truth, and the life. Nothing is impossible with our Savior Jesus Christ." Frankie shouted with joy, "I'm all better now, 'cause I know my boo-boo is healed. I am brave and having nothing to fear, God gave me His word, His armor and His shield." Please subscribe to our channel to be notified of our new stories.
The Good Egg by Jory John and Pete Oswald.
Oh hello. I was just rescuing this cat. Know why? Because I'm a very good egg. A very good egg. It's true. I do all kinds of good things. Like, I'll paint your house. I'll carry your groceries. I'll water your plants. I'll change your tires. If you need any help whatsoever, I'm your egg. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start. Even in my earlier days, back at the store, there were a dozen of us living together under one recycled roof. There was Meg, and Peg, and Greg, and Clegg, and Shelley, and Sheldon, and Shelby, and Egbert, and Frank, and the other Frank. The other 11 eggs weren't on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. They ignored their bedtime. They only ate sugary cereal. They threw tantrums. They cried for no reason. They broke their stuff. On purpose. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace. Because I was a good egg. A very good egg. Nobody seemed to care, though. Every night, I was exhausted. My head felt scrambled. Then, one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. They were everywhere. My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself. The pressure of making sure everybody was as good as me. I was cracking up, literally. Something had to change. I'd had enough. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank that I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in a bad carton, I said. Blah blah blah, they replied. I left that night. I wandered from town to town. The hours became days. The days became weeks. I lost track of time. I was alone. Out there, on the road, under the stars, I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. I took walks. I read books. I floated in the river. I wrote in my journal. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in. I breathed out. I even started painting. For once, I found time for me. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my shell started to heal. My head no longer felt scrambled. I started to feel like myself again. So I've made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. This time, I know what I need to do. I'll try not to worry so much. I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. Here we go! Everybody missed me. I missed them too. Hello Meg. Howdy Peg. Hey Greg. Greetings Clegg. What's up Shell? Aloha Shelly. Heyo Sheldon. Hi Shelby. Good day Egbert. What's happening Frank? Howdy do other Frank? Sure, every once in a while, somebody's still a little bad. But it's not like before. Here's what I realized, the other eggs aren't perfect, and I don't have to be either. I'm okay with that. Yep, the old carton is back together. We're a solid dozen again. It's good to be home. The end. Like and subscribe to be notified of new books to read. The Dark is Your Friend by Brittany Ming. Tell me about the dark. Tell me how the dark is my friend. The dark is your friend, my love. It's for the moon and stars. For nightlights and teddy bears, for sinking down in soft pillows. The dark is for blankies and suggles, dream dust and warm milk. For cuddles and kisses, lullabies and big neck squeezes. The dark is for remembering your day with a happy sigh. The dark is your friend. It's for sleepy eyes and big yawns. For rest that is good for your body and mind. The dark is for sweet dreams all night long. The dark is your friend. Good night, my love. The dark is your friend. The end. Please like and subscribe to be notified of our new books as they release.
Do Not Wish for a Birthday Unicorn by Serena Siebeneler and illustrated by Gabby Correa. A birthday is special. It comes once a year. It's a time to feel loved by the ones we hold dear. My mom said she'll grant me my wish for a theme. A unicorn party. A fairy tale dream. She will shimmer and shine, with her mane all aglow. She'll be all that I've wished for, and be a grand show. So, we looked up our options and read the reviews. There were pink ones and gold ones and some with tattoos. We finally found one, a glorious sight. Look, she's discounted too! Mom exclaimed with delight. Then my grandma set off to retrieve our new guest. And she drove with great caution while heading out west. She was greeted by Stan, who was large and quite tan. Then his crew strapped the unicorn to her sedan. It was finally time, all my guests had appeared. Oh, please show us your unicorn, all of them cheered. I excitedly watched as she made her debut. But, something was wrong. Was she sick with the flu? Her long mane was a frazzle, her horn it was chipped. Her big eyes, dark and puffy, her hooves weren't clipped. Not a shine to her nature, nor a gleam in her eye. She seemed lost and distressed, or just playfully shy. We were so disappointed, we couldn't deny. But we quickly felt sad when she started to cry. We noticed a note in her tangled-up mane and then eagerly read as it tried to explain. We thank you for choosing the Uni Express, where we strive to deliver your birthday success. You have probably noticed poor Starlight's a mess. So, we're sending this note to explain her distress. Poor Starlight had waited so long for her turn, to be washed, dried, and pampered until she did learn that our sparkle wash broke, which then caused some delays. Now poor Starlight's been waiting for 21 days. And so that's why we offered you Starlight for free, and we hope it's okay since there wasn't a fee. Will you please help us give her party-filled treats? She's a little bit smelly but really quite sweet. Sincerely, Stan the Unicorn Man. Then our grandma called out, I'll return to the shop. This is not what we ordered, we'll do a quick swap. Oh, but Grandma, I said. Starlight needs us right now. We should think of a plan, make her happy somehow. We tried bouncing around in a house made of air, but her horn pierced a hole, and it crumpled right there. We played try not to laugh, which has always worked well, but poor Stark stayed sad, as if under a spell. Oh, I have an idea. This plan will be great. We will clean her right up, it is still not too late. Oh, dear Starlight, we said, are you ready to see? Please come out when you hear us count 1, 2, 3. Starlight's lips peeled right back with a grin underneath, and her colorful braces beamed off her teeth. She was finally happy. Her spirits were high. And she soared through the air while she painted the sky. The clouds formed some shapes of a cool party crew. With a mermaid, an ostrich, some fairies showed too. Then the sun started playing our favorite tunes. Boy, this had to be one of our best afternoons. We all marveled at Starlight, who sparkled and shined. 'Cause she sensed our intentions were thoughtful and kind. For, the spirit of kindness will always shine through, when we all work together to help someone blue. It's now time for the cake. Grandma shouted with glee. And then, Starlight's horn played happy birthday for me. As I blew out my candles, my breath made a swish. And I thought long and hard, for my next special wish. Soon Christmas will be here, I thought to myself. Oh. I wish that dear Santa would bring me an elf. The end. Please subscribe to our channel to be notified of our new releases.